Okay, action.
Action.
So we wanted to do a quick video on why gap insurance is so important.
It's important. You're going to get your gap insurance.
It's important, Elmo!
We just wanted to do a quick video on how important it is to get gap insurance, especially right now with where the market's at, how car prices are dropping, and we've had some pretty crazy experiences from some customers and friends regarding gap insurance the last couple of months, so we thought this would be a really good thing to get on and share with everyone. So with that being said, Brendan.
Yes, gap insurance is extremely important. It's probably one of the most important things you can do to protect yourself when purchasing a vehicle. I don't know if you know what gap insurance is. I actually do ask a lot of my customers, hey, do you know what gap insurance is? Are you familiar with that term? A lot of the time I actually get the answer no. I wasn't familiarized with gap insurance until I needed it and didn't have it. So what gap insurance is it protects the loan of value of your vehicle. So say you go into a dealership, you purchase a vehicle for, let's just say for easy numbers, $10,000. So you financed the car for $10,000. Say 2 years goes down the line, gosh forbid something happens, but say it does, the insurance company gets involved and they're like, well, you know, your car is now only worth like $5,000 and you still owe $8,000. There's a gap obviously there, why they call it gap insurance. So if you have gap insurance, then they'll come in and they'll actually cover that gap for you. So instead of you paying out of pocket those $3,000, $4,000, $5,000+ depending on how much your vehicle has devalued over the time that you first had gotten your loan, you're protected.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
very important.
Yeah, and it really is amazing how many people don't know what gap insurance is. And honestly, you wouldn't know what it is unless somebody explained it to you, or like Brendan said,
Yep, didn't have it
when you needed it most. And we all know that accidents happen, and you can't really control a lot of times other people and what is going to happen to your vehicle. It's very, very important to make sure that you're protected and that you're covered. Now, the greatest part about gap insurance is the price.
Yes. Yeah.
Gap insurance is very affordable. Most of the time when you're financing, it changes your payment by what?
$10, $15, unless you're extending yourself to like a 72, 84 months, then you might be closer to $15, $20. But it's still, what's $20 a month? You know, what's, you know, typical price. So most, of course, it's going to matter what lender picks your loan up. Everybody does things a little bit differently. For the most part, it's all the same. But as far as our average dollar amount, if you were to put a dollar amount on gap insurance, I'd say around $9.95, $8.95. So again, going back to my comment, if you roll, you know, $8.95, $9.95 into your loan, broken that down into your $10, $15 a month, and that happens, like I said, $3,000 to $4,000 is covered from you paying an extra $10 to $15 a month. And that's huge, because a lot of people don't have the savings to where if something happens that they can pay the difference of their vehicle and then also go get another vehicle.
Right.
So that's, you know, not a lot of us can do that. I know I couldn't. So
that is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Because when your vehicle gets totaled, you need another vehicle most of the time. And so if you have a $3,000 or $4,000 loan still left that you're trying to pay off, it's going to be more challenging for you to get into another vehicle, and it's not going to be a fun position to be in.
Sticky situation for sure. Yeah, not fun.
It's not, and it's sad because what often happens is people don't have that extra $3,000 or $4,000.
Right.
So they're having to still pay off on a loan.
They do.
And having to pay on that loan until it's paid down. So they're paying $4,000 on a car that's totaled that they don't even own anymore.
Exactly.
And can't drive.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, having to go get another loan for a vehicle.
Yeah. So it can get real sticky real fast. So you know, if you can't afford to have fixes if something happens, if you don't have a savings built up, and even if you do, I still suggest getting gap insurance.
I always recommend it. Always.
Yeah.
Because even if you have a savings, that's good for if something comes up on the car, like
right.
a mechanical issue or something like that. I still wouldn't want to take my $3,000 savings to pay off the loan if I had it saved up for that.
Yep.
Whereas you wouldn't need to if you have the gap insurance.
Exactly.
Now there is one time where I would not recommend getting gap insurance.
For sure, yeah. There's the one time, like she said, the one
exception is if you're purchasing, again, I like the $10,000 price range because it's easy. If you're purchasing a $10,000 vehicle and you're putting a large down payment on the loan,
like $5-6 grand.
Yes, you're putting $5,000 or $6,000 down, so you're only financing $3,000 or $4,000 on a $10,000 car. You don't really need the gap insurance because if something happens, the car gets totaled, then your loan is only going to be for $3,000 and the vehicle isn't going to depreciate
that much. Especially when, because we've talked about this in previous videos, or at least I know Chris has, a $10,000 vehicle can only depreciate so much.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So unless something's happening 3 years from now, and typically if you only have a $3,000 to $4,000 loan, you aren't going to be paying that in 4 or 5 years anyway.
It'd be paid off by that time. You'd own it outright. You'd be good.
And even on a more expensive car, say you're buying a $25,000 car, if you're putting, a large down payment down, large enough to where in the next few years, if something happened, you wouldn't be losing out, then you're okay. But even with a newer car, say $25,000, if you only have $2,000 that you're putting down, I would still get gap insurance because, with the way that the market's going and next year, who knows how far prices are going to keep dropping, and the newer the vehicle, the more that it is going to drop, the more room that it has to drop. So our recommendation is to always purchase gap insurance unless you have a large down payment that you're putting down on the vehicle.
Exactly. For your benefit, for everyone's benefit, it really is, like I said, probably the most important protection that you can get on your vehicle besides warranty. But
exactly.
And even then, I'd still, if it was one or the other, I'd recommend gap over the warranty.
Agreed. Yeah. And that's the thing is we sell really great warranties and gap insurance, and we always tell people, if you can only afford one, we highly recommend the gap insurance. It doesn't make us anything really at all. But for us, it's more important to make sure that our customers are covered and protected than it is to make a little something on a warranty.
Exactly.
And we're not a dealership that marks up our warranties a dramatic amount. We're very fair. We give people really good warranties. But still, even with that, we're always like, take the gap insurance.
Make sure you have gap.
You want to be protected and covered. But ideally, we do recommend gap and a warranty because at the end of the day, cars are cars. And it's good to be protected. So
it is. Mm-hmm. Be protected.
Be protected.
Protection.
Get that gap. Okay, now we need to pose for a picture that I use as the thumbnail.
Yeah.
But we should do something like...
Thinking. I had a straight face the whole time. I was like, might as well smile for one part.
For one of them, so we can pick whichever one works.
Exactly. Serious or playful?
Or playful. Serious or smiley? Serious or smiley?
You'll find out when we upload the video. I have fun with this.
Me too. I love it. I love how much fun everyone has with these videos.
Me too.
Video. Nope, see, I was like, ah.